I'm Billy S, welcome back to the channel. Today we're ranking my top 10 Elden Ring boss arenas. These are the arenas that stand out, be it for amazing aesthetics, tie-ins to the lore and story, or just because they're fun to fight in with the boss's moveset. Because look, as much as I enjoy talking about the bosses themselves over and over and over again, let's appreciate those arenas that go above and beyond to stand out. No waffling, let's just jump in. The best boss arenas in Elden Ring. Let me know your thoughts down below. At number 10, we have the meta Mother of Fingers arena, which can only be found by completing Count Emir's questline in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Compared to Dark Souls, where a lot of the arenas had varying layouts that could enhance a specific boss's gameplay, Elden Ring is more about just giving you big open areas to fight FromSoft's latest creations. So a lot of the arenas on today's list will feel similar from a gameplay perspective. After all, Meta, for example, is fought in a giant flat open area with no pillars or elevation to get in the way of your fight. This means that Elden Ring has to go really hard on the visual design to make up for this, and by god, Meta is one of the most memorable bosses in the DLC, not just because of her horrifying visage, but for the eerie beauty of the arena. You appear in this dark blue void, the ground coated in a thick film of water, while in the distance, small fingers emerge from beneath the waves. Above you, horrific finger-like tubes stretch up into the skies like this eldritch imagery, and above still, the ceiling of the arena reveals that you are underwater. It's blue, shimmery, like an ocean. You feel like you're somewhere deep and dark, and I can't help but think about how this really is a place of unknown, bordering on the Lovecraftian. It's similar to the energy of Bloodborne, where you look up in the Hunter's Nightmare, there's an eerie fishing hamlet and an ocean right above that you can't see. I have to imagine what's above this stretch of water in Meta's arena. What more is there to this place that we're not seeing? Between this and the otherworldly nature of Meta and her cinematic attacks that light up the arena with beautiful purples, it's a good start to today's list. At number 9, we have Starscourge Radahn's arena, found in the backside of Castle Redmane. I decided to only include one of Radahn's boss arenas on today's list, and while the gate atop Enir Elim is an iconic arena and a definite honourable mention, there's just something very special about the original Radahn arena in the Wailing Dunes. Radahn's arena takes up a massive portion of Caelid's map, around roughly 25% of the area, more than any other boss in the series. It's very Slave Knight Gale inspired, yet Radahn uses the size and scope of the arena to a much more interesting degree. Because you need this space if you're going to survive the fight. There are hills to hide yourself behind while summoning festival members to take the boss down on your behalf. His attacks are vast and wide, which gives you the opportunity to summon Torrent in this arena to make your life easier. But unlike the other major arena I can think of that lets you summon Torrent, the Fire Giant arena, which does a similar concept, I think Radahn's arena feels more like a boss arena. With the Fire Giant, it just feels like a normal part of the world that the Fire Giant was plopped into, and that's totally fine, but not really my cup of tea. Having to take a waygate to reach Radahn, meanwhile, just gives his arena and fight a bigger sense of gravitas. Not to mention the blood-red sands, topped with the corpses of all those who fought to defeat Radahn before, the standards of various soldiers flapping in the wind, and this arena has a beautiful ocean view, so if you feel like doing some sunbathing, you totally can. When Radahn hits his second half and meteors down, I also love the change in Skybox. It adds an extra layer of atmosphere to the arena as the reds change more to a purple, highlighting the color of Radahn's gravity magic and showcasing a more serious side to his attacks. I just love an arena that actively allows you to use your horse without feeling like a pain in the ass to navigate, and the fact it takes up so much real estate on the world map is such a ballsy move, I can't help but respect it. I'm really reminded of Shadow of the Colossus, where in some Colossi battles you're allowed to take aggro your horse in with you, and this really reminds me of one of those types of arenas. At number 8, we have Malekith the Black Blades arena, found at the end of crumbling Farum Azula. Now this arena for me is quite memorable because it was a big mystery for me during most of my Elden Ring playthrough. What do I mean by that? Well, when I first played Elden Ring, I subscribed to the Billy S channel to stay up to date on all my future videos, and then I was curious about everything. One location stood out that I couldn't wait to get to though, which was Malekith's arena, because it was constantly shown in loading screen artwork. You can see the entire room here. From the broken yet still somehow towering pillars, to the way the back half of the room shatters into floating debris, to the ornamental temple-like structure and the Elden Ring-esque markings at the back of the room. When you start playing Elden Ring, you can't even imagine a location as fantastical as Farum Azula, and I played the whole game waiting to find out where this loading screen takes place, and finally reaching it and taking on Malekith was everything I wanted and more. Whether you're facing the Beast Clergyman or Malekith's Black Blade, the arena is designed to help you. The pillars are effective blocking tools against his ranged attacks and his bestial incantations, while giving the boss ample room to do flippy-dippy natural 20 acrobatics all across the arena. And you have more than enough space to try and make distance if you need it. Despite the back left corner being this broken down part of the arena, you'll never find yourself forced there during combat. I just think Farum Azula, and by extension this boss arena, have such a striking visual identity, while also managing to be well designed around the boss's moveset, and it leads to a satisfying arena layout that will certainly stand the test of time. At number 7, we have Mesmer the Impaler's arena, which enhances one of the best fights in the DLC. Having come through a massive archive filled with stone tomes, I don't think anybody was expecting Mesmer's bedroom to be so open and ornamental. He's got the candles that flicker around the room, keeping everything lit, but not to the point where the moody atmosphere is compromised. This is the chamber of a depressed man after all, one who has lived with his own fire within him for so long, and it makes sense that the fire would then be the only source of light in this darkness. The edges of the arena are coated with impaled spears, symbolizing the many victories Mesmer has had against those who have tried to overthrow him, while his own throne is just a decorated alcove with hanging curtains and a statue of his mother Marika watching over him. The arena itself is vast, you have tons of space to move around, and it's tons of space for Mesmer to do what he does best: thrust, fly, and impale. This arena couldn't be too big after all, as it needed to fit inside the tower design of the Shadowkeep, while also not being too small enough to where you can't actually make any distance on the boss. It's the Goldilocks effect. Mesmer's arena is just right, which makes his phase 2 with all the snakes much more impressive. The fact he can summon all those serpents and still play within the confines of his arena, I respect it. And the Marika statue holds more weight when you realize how much he both adores and despises his mother for everything that has transpired, only to have her watching over him until his dying breath. Mesmer's arena just oozes atmosphere, while also being a little more low-key than you'd expect. I compare him a lot to Rykard's fiery boss arena, which is insanely detailed and filled with chains, cages, and a vast cavern, yet for some reason I don't consider it in my top 10, despite having a really strong fiery theme. Mesmer, also being a fire boss, doesn't have as crazy an arena, yet I think its simplicity is actually what works for me here. Is there anyone else that feels that way? Let me know in the comments down below. At number 6, we have Malenia, Blade of Miquella's arena, found in the depths of the Halig Tree. If there's one thing I'm a sucker for, it's an arena filled with flowers. It is a trope that just cannot be beaten, and I will probably mention it in every single boss arena video I do on the Soulsborne games. The boss from Metal Gear Solid 3, Gehrman from Bloodborne, Ishin Ashina from Sekiro, hell, there's an arena later on this list that also does this concept. But Malenia Blade of Miquella's flower field in the depths of the Halig Tree really stands out to me. It's the way the flowers are this pure white, which contrasts so heavily with the rot-infested land they're found in. The water in the center of the room, a small pond, is clear and shining, a far cry from the pools just a few levels above, and Malenia is the perfect boss to place in this small yet elegant arena as her style of battle fits the theme to a T. The way she draws her sword and petals blow in that direction on the breeze, it's stunning. She fights like a dancer with a mix of precision and an effortlessness that makes it seem easy for her, which makes her phase 2 transition where she goes full rot and the butterflies are falling with so many colors, pairs so well with the white and muted tones of the arena itself, all set beneath this vast central trunk that Miquella's Haligtree sprouted from, where the last visage of Miquella can be seen in the branches, as well as the hole where his cocoon was torn from by Mohg. Add her phase 2 moveset with the Scarlet Aeonia move and her constant flourishes of rot from her various attacks, and everything here just looks correct. As long as you don't accidentally get boxed near the entrance to the room, which is a bad call at the best of times. I love this arena, and I really do love Malenia as well. It just doesn't have enough style for me to put it in my top 5. At number 5, we have the Elden Beast arena, found in the center of the Erdtree. I was tempted to also include Radagon's arena as part of this segment, and that was the original plan, but as I was writing that part of the script, I realized I didn't really have an attachment to the Radagon arena. But the Elden Beast one, ooh, you live in a very cool location, my man. I have, ever since my first Dark Souls ranking in 2023, talked about how much I love the concept behind Ash Lake, a vast expanse of water from the first game, with trees that goes high into the sky, while the dark void below could be hiding anything in its murky depths. Elden Beast's arena is a more radiant look at what an Ash Lake is like in the modern era. We still have the dark water below us that we walk upon, but instead of being an arena drenched in dark fantasy, it's an arena that has us looking up to the heavenly skies above. We can see countless phantom Erdtrees in the distance rising into the cosmos, which I personally assume mean they're Erdtrees on different planets, in vast locations across the universe, all connected to the greater will, each with their own distinct Elden Beasts. There's nothing to say that our Erdtree is the only one in existence after all, and all of this is set to a golden-hued landscape that I wish was a Windows 97 background. The way the Elden Beast swims through the terrain while we can only walk above it always stood out to me because I love the concept of liquid that some things can move through while others can't. And in this context, it's because this is the domain of the Elden Beast and we really are just an intruder. And the way his attacks only help with the atmosphere, all tinged with golden rays of bathed light, from the rings you jump to the sword slashes to the Elden Stars, it all goes such a long way to showcase you are truly fighting a god, a creature from beyond this realm, and this arena being such a contrast to Radagon's location is further enhancing this. Basically, if you want a boss arena to impress me, just make Ash Lake again. It's why I like Gehrman's arena in Bloodborne. The Hunter's Dream has a similar aesthetic to its skybox, and they use these moments quite sparingly in Elden Ring, which makes these more fantastical arenas stand out more when we reach them. At number 4, we have Bale the Dread's arena, found atop the Jagged Peak. The last of the DLC arenas on today's list, I couldn't not talk about the absolute peak level of atmosphere that this arena has going for it. Firstly, take into account that the overall ascent up the mountain already has you feeling a certain way. The dark stormy clouds, the red lightning that strikes the mountainside, only for you to emerge into a field of red flowers. Granted, it's a field of red flowers in the apocalypse, but I'll take what I can get. What I love about Bale's arena is how it is purposefully designed to be similar to Dragonlord Placidusax's arena. It's a similar size and scale, same shape like a giant circle, with the towering mountain peaks and rock formations in the cliffsides forming a similar look to the fully formed Farum Azula arena. And then Bale drops in and the atmosphere rockets up to 11. His fire attacks contrasted with the dark red flowers, his flying attacks midway through where he summons spectral wings and begins soaring around the arena while the weather only proceeds to get worse. Oh, it's so good. Gameplay wise, you have so much room to avoid Bale's attacks, while also giving him the ability to do some crazy combos courtesy of the arena's size. But it really is the atmosphere here that brings this arena so high. I think the main dragon fights in Elden Ring have this sense of gravitas to them, being given so much space to
let loose, I said let loose.
and each arena feels distinct towards their own boss. Baal is evil incarnate, a creature of hatred and spite and malice, and you can see and feel that even before meeting him. Just looking out at this expanse, you feel the weight of dread wash over you, not knowing when the fight will trigger, not knowing where he'll come from, and yet even in the darkest of places, there's still a beauty in this majestic creature and his lair. It's not enough to make top 3 because gameplay-wise, a lot of Baal's fire breath attacks interact weirdly with the geometry of the floor, and I don't like that. But it is enough for me to wish I had this arena as my background on my PC. At number 3, we have Lich Dragon Fortisax's arena. When I began looking through the boss roster to remind myself of their arenas, Fortisax was the first boss I ended up noting down, and the simple reason being, that skybox. When you spawn into the Fortisax arena ready to exorcise him from Godwyn's corpse, I don't think any of us were expecting to look up and see a genuinely impressive artistic representation of the inner turmoil this creature is facing. A dragon who was corrupted while trying to save his friend from this tragic fate, he now commands dark red lightning that he can crash down upon you with his gleaming black scales. Fortisax goes so well with this arena, with the lighting effects of his attacks contrasting beautifully with the dark purple hues of the floor and the maddening skybox above. It's like looking at a work of art, but from the most mentally disturbed artist you've ever met. It feels like the sky is watching you, pulsating and rotting from above. It's a similar texture to the Dung Eater ending of the main game, which, you know what, it makes sense. Fortisax was cursed as Godwyn was cursed, and this imagery is just a representation of that. I also love that Fortisax uses the entire lake here as part of the battle arena, because we just went through Fear's champions to get to this point, and they only use a tiny portion of this arena to fight in. My favorite word of this video, it creates great contrast. This is a nightmare personified as a boss arena, and Fortisax just makes perfect use of it. Again, the dragons in this game have a real sense of gravitas to their arenas, and it would be my favorite dragon boss arena in the game, if not for one more we'll touch upon soon. At number 2, we have Rennala, Queen of the Full Moons arena, found after beating Rennala's first phase and activating Ranni's curse. The shift from the Headmistress's library to this absolutely stunning Moonside Lake is the stuff of legends. They took Rom's boss arena from Bloodborne and said, no, we can do better than that. And they did. Rennala's introduction really sets the scene for this encounter, with the full moon behind her, framing her silhouette as she turns to us, calm and composed. It's one of my favorite boss introduction cutscenes in the series, and you can see more of that if you check out my boss introduction cutscene video that I made a few months ago. I am good at advertising myself. The color palette here is drenched in blues that complement the glintstone sorceries that are soon to be used, and again, I just love an arena that has you walking along water. Water is just one of my favorite things in video games. It's fantastic. We all need to drink water. Drink a glass of water right now. I will never not go rabid over arenas like this. The sheer volume of space allows for us to handle Rennala's attacks safely. She fights at range, so she naturally needs a lot of room, especially when the summons get involved, as she can potentially summon a dragon to crash down and breathe fire on us. But you know what? I don't mind that. Not when I'm fighting in one of the best looking locations in the series. It's criminal that we don't get a photo mode in Elden Ring to take some screenshots of this place, as it just stands out as a stunning vista. And the way this arena ties into Ranni's ending is also quite clever, because Ranni's ending cutscene to Elden Ring has her in a location that is almost the same as this boss arena, only the blues are colder, icier, more tinged with Ranni's color palette compared to her mother. And I really like how this type of space is associated with these queens of Caria. Not much else to say. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with this arena being on this list, but I have one more that hit me just that tad bit more. At number 1, we have the Dragon Lord Placidusax arena, found in the center of the Storm of Farum Azula. There are some arenas in this series that you see and your breath is taken away. The introduction to the Placidusax arena is one of those moments for me, because we're not even expecting it. We lie down on a broken fragment of Farum Azula, triggering a cutscene that recreates the arena around us, and suddenly we're in this ornate, massive circular temple, and floating high in the sky is Placidusax himself. He hangs there like an ornament or a light bulb, while pillars tower around him and the player. You can see the point where he'll awaken if you walk forwards too far, yet I love that once Placidusax is awake, the entire arena becomes his playground. The storm whirling in the sky only gets worse as the fight goes on, the clouds becoming darker, more deadly, more violent, and that pairs perfectly with Placidusax's moveset as he hides within clouds, using his ability to teleport and break out a host of deadly lasers and lightning to bring you down. Only a true lord would have an arena this massive, only someone of immense importance would be fought here. The intimidation alone feels so much more so than that of Bale or Fortisax. The cutscene slowly revealing the full form of the boss, then us seeing the full scope of the arena, and it doesn't even need any of that oppressive atmosphere to bring it up. It's mind-blowing. And that last segment when Placidusax is firing dual Medeer lasers and you're bobbing and weaving while lightning strikes and the skybox is grim, those are moments I will never forget when playing these games. Placidusax is great on his own, but his arena and his music elevate him and showcases how important these outside elements are to these boss fights. Arenas really deserve more attention, and while for Elden Ring most of my pros in this video have been they look aesthetically pleasing, or they're big and the boss makes use of them, I'd also just say that means FromSoft has figured out what works for them. And that's my list. Which Elden Ring boss arena is your favorite, and which ones did I miss off? Some honorable mentions, Promised Consort Radahn's arena, Mohg, Lord of Blood's arena, and Estelle, Natural Born of the Void's arena. Really sad I didn't include those, but I do love them. Maybe Rykard as well, we'll chuck him in, why not? If you guys enjoyed, be sure to parry that subscribe button to stay up to date on all my future videos. My social medias are down below. I have a Blue Sky channel if you want to follow me there. I want to give a quick shout out to my YouTube channel members for supporting me for another month. It's $4.99, it gets you early access to certain videos, it gets you a shout out in the description and at the end of videos as well, and it gets you access to certain special Let's Plays that are only available to my members. So thanks for watching guys, I'll see you next time, adios.